So there's no better time than now to switch to SoFi or at least open a SoFi account because SoFi just upped their APY to 4.60%. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining why that's a good thing and why you probably shouldn't be saving your money in traditional banks like Chase, Truist, Bank of America, or even Wells Fargo for that matter. Basically, you're losing money when you save your money in those banks. And I think it's safe to say nobody likes to lose money. So let's get into it. And if you're going to sign up for SoFi bank account, if you use my link below, you get an additional $25 when signing up. And it also helps out the channel, so I would greatly appreciate it. Also, a few disclaimers before I get too deep in the video. In order to get the 4.60 APY from SoFi, you do need SoFi Plus. And in order to get SoFi Plus, you do need a direct deposit. And a high yield savings account will not make you rich. You will have a little extra money to work with, but it also changes your mindset, which that's really why I preach high yield savings accounts the most. Because say you put money into your high yield savings account, it deposits every month. And when you see that deposit come passively from you not doing any work, but leaving money in a certain place, it just puts you in a certain mindset to start to build your wealth. So that's why I preach high yield savings accounts so much. Also, I'm already compounding the numbers through the interest. So the interest that you get every month, I'm also accounting for that in this video as well. All right, so to make this video the most relatable, let's say you had $2,000 in multiple different savings accounts in multiple different banks. And those banks are Chase, Truist, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chime, and of course SoFi. And we're going to use their current APY at the time of filming this video. And we're going to take that $2,000 that you're saving in these multiple different savings accounts and see how much you will have at the end of the year. And see kind of where we're standing as far as APYs nowadays and see which one is truly the best. Obviously it's SoFi because it's the bigger number, but how good is it? Let's find out. Okay, so let's start with the traditional banks. Chase, Truist, and Bank of America. And why I put those three together? Because they all offer the same APY, which is 0.01%. And if you were to leave your $2,000 in their savings account for 12 months, you would end up with an extra 12 cents. And yes, I said that right. But let's move on. Let's see what the other banks offer, and then we can make our judgment then. Wells Fargo did a little better than those banks. They offer 0.15% APY, which if you left your $2,000 in the Wells Fargo savings account, you would have an additional $3 if you left it in there for 12 months. You know, it's better than nothing, but it could be better. And of course, it's better than not having it in a high yield savings account at all. And don't forget, we're using 2,000 because we're trying to be reasonable and be more relatable to majority of people. But let's move on to Chime. Let's see what their numbers look like. The reason why I put Chime in the mix, because in order to get the 4.60 APY from SoFi, you do need direct deposit. But for Chime, you don't need a direct deposit in order to use the high yield savings account, which is 2%. So say you left that $2,000 in Chime's savings account for 12 months, you would come up with a whopping $40.37. And that's pretty good. That's where you start to see some significant, I wouldn't say life-changing. Like I said, it won't make you rich, but it's a lot better than just making nothing. 40 extra dollars, 40 plus extra dollars. Yeah, that could be used for something. But we're about to move on to the star of the show, SoFi, to see how much you get if you leave your money in that savings account. So SoFi offering the 4.60 APY, how much would you get if you left your money in that savings account for 12 months? Well, that answer is $93.96. And that is pretty good. And that's for $2,000. If you leave $2,000 in that savings account, like I said in the other one, if you leave more money, of course, that will compound to be a bigger number. So you have to always keep that in mind when you're talking about savings accounts. It's all about how much you leave in there and just how much it compounds over time. But a lot of people don't really look at the grand scheme of savings accounts, and I just thought maybe I'd make this video to open a few people's eyes. So at the time of filming this video, if you left your money in Chase, Truist, Bank of America's savings accounts, you would have $2,000.12. If you left your $2,000 in Wells Fargo's savings account, you would have $2,003 even. And if you left it in Chime's savings account, you would have $2,040.37. And if you left it in SoFi, you would have $2,093.96. So that's just a breakdown. And of course, like I said in the beginning, not life changing, but you have to look at a high yield savings account like a mindset thing. And especially if you're going to just leave your money sitting in a bank, why not leave it in a bank that offers a high yield savings account like SoFi? And a high yield savings account is more so the focus on that mindset. And I know I mentioned this a couple times in the video, but you really have to see it like that, because once you start making that money passively, you start to think, how can I make more sources of income? So you do have money compounding in your high yield savings account, but you could also go out and get other sources of income to have different streams coming in at different times. And that's really how you got to look at a high yield savings account. To be completely honest with you, SoFi does not offer the highest APY. I've seen some banks go as high as 5.5 APY. You just have to do your own due diligence when looking for a savings account that fits your financial needs. I'm extremely aware that I did not get into all the details of a high yield savings account, a APY, and all the things it offers, how much is the deposit every month. But this video is, like I said, more so to open up a high yield savings account to more people and to understand to not leave your money in a bank that does not offer a high yield savings account like the ones I mentioned in this video. But with that being said, I'll see y'all on the next one.